Welcome everyone to Come Get Your Bag on the Wireless. I am Lunathi from Gqeberha, or formerly known as Port Elizabeth. This is a show where we give you the tea about all things business. And this is also the show where we also pull through all the businesses and small businesses, particularly in and around South Africa as well. Now, earlier on, I did mention to you that we are going to speak to people behind the different brands. And today we have none other than Georgina Hounsfield. Now, she is the owner of the thrift store Also Georgie, and she is also the owner of our legendary thrift market called From London to Lorraine. And if you have just joined us, welcome to Come Get Your Bag. And I did promise you earlier that we have an extra special guest today, someone very close to me that I admire. All right, we have Georgina. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Luna. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How was your day?
Yeah, hectic.
Hectic.
Life's hectic at the
As
moment,
usual.
right? But I made it.
Can't be a business owner without it being hectic, right?
Definitely not.
So you are the owner of Also Georgie,
That's
right? And that is for food prepping as well as a thrift store, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But I also want to talk to you about From London to Lorraine. Can you tell us a little bit about that, about you, and how that even started?
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for asking me to be here today. It's really a pleasure. My little baby From London to Lorraine actually started about 2 years ago. I had a little seed that planted in my head, and in short, I was thinking about it a bit too long.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was thinking about it a bit too long and putting it off, and had all these like wonderful ideas. And I was actually sharing with a friend of mine, Zahn, who has that amazing market Winsong. And I think Zahn, bless her heart, just one day just said, "Oh, just do it, will you?
Just do it already."
And I'm like, "Just do it." Yeah. So I was like, okay, I heard it loud and clear, and I actually hopped on. And about 3 weeks later, we had our first market.
Okay, tell us about that. Where did you have it? Was it in PE?
Definitely, yeah, in Gqeberha. It was in Gqeberha. I'm getting there slowly. And yeah, I was at the PE riding club. So I used to live in London. I've traveled across there quite a lot for work. And the name literally just dropped out of the universe. One day I was driving. I was like, what am I going to call this thing? And I thought, oh, just From London to Lorraine. I was born in Lorraine. And then I'm now back in Lorraine. So I thought, well, let me have a market in Lorraine. And that's what happened.
Makes sense, makes sense. And how has the journey been since 2 years ago, starting From London to Lorraine?
I had no idea
what you were doing.
Ask me, like, would I do it again? Yes, I absolutely would do it again. Did I know what I was getting myself into? I don't think you do when you start a new business. Know exactly. One can't actually plan the future completely or how it's going to play out. But I love it, and it's just grown from strength to strength. And I've met so many amazing people, including yourself. Made new friends, which is great because through post-lockdown I wasn't going out as much, so it's actually become a social thing too. We've introduced a bit of dancing every now and then, a competition. If in your thrifty outfit you can enter and you can maybe win a prize. So yeah, it's really grown, it's blossomed actually, and it's done me good as well as other people. Yeah.
I have friends of mine talking about it in different provinces because they see the post and they're like, oh, what's this about? What's this about?
Yeah.
I guess they see the London part.
Yeah, exactly.
like what's going on here? So where did your love for thrifting start? How did that seed, blossom?
So obviously I've traveled a lot, and I used to always, stick my little nose into various thrifty shops wherever I was. And even in New Zealand, I've even got some outfits from New Zealand that I still have, and they're like museum pieces. I haven't quite gotten the courage to get rid of them or sell them on. So I would say that it's always been there. It just gets a little clouded with the other things that one can buy, and it's obviously become a trend too. It became a trend overseas before it hit in Gqeberha. So it's large internationally. It's large in Cape Town, Joburg, and places like that, and it's just grown in little Gqeberha.
And it's absolutely amazing how you find this community of people that actually like secondhand clothes, and the misconceptions around secondhand clothes has sort of, through the years, people have sort of, taken that off and are more willing to buy secondhand or pre-loved items, right? For you, what has been, perhaps, have you gotten any backlash, or have there been, those weird customers sometimes who say, I wouldn't buy that. Why would I buy secondhand?
Only one.
Only one. Well, that's a good thing
that I can remember.
Yeah.
So if there were many, I think I would be, having a little chat or having a different story here today,
right.
But no, only one in particular that I remember, and she had real reasons and
Right.
real childhood reasons, actually,
Okay.
which I don't even need to talk about, actually. But it was something to do with her upbringing and poverty stricken. And she just said that now that she can actually afford new, she will never go back from new. And that's why I said it's only one. And we have had markets, we've had hundreds and hundreds of people. We're blessed, to have hundreds through the door.
Right.
And the talk about town, so to speak, yes, of course, people have said some things like, oh, it's secondhand. But the misconception is that I have an upmarket secondhand market. I have rules that are in place. I don't want to sound like a strict boss, but I have to put the rules in place because we don't want the other kinds of clothes. We need to keep clothes that are clean. They need to come with buttons on and zips working, so that, and then everything must be fresh, and the hangers must be a similar color, so that it all runs and it flows nicely. So it's just an upmarket thrift market, and if items are clean, literally some of them have never been worn.
Right.
Some of them still have the tags on, but it is still deemed thrifted because the client doesn't, or the customer, or whoever doesn't want to actually wear them or can't wear them. They've grown out of them. So it's a thrifted item, and it's like new. It is new, effectively, but just cheaper.
Just cheaper, which is very important, right?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you have just joined us, welcome to Come Get Your Bag. You haven't missed too much, but you have missed a little bit, but that's okay. We still have Georgina from London to Lorraine Market and also Georgie Thrift Store. And basically, this woman is running the world of thrifting in PE right now. I mean, you're the biggest thing that's happening right now, right? You have markets almost every weekend or every second weekend.
It's too much, right?
Yeah. A little bit.
Yeah, I know. I'm keeping you busy.
Yeah, you are keeping me busy. You are. So you've had them at Gallery on Produce, in Lorraine Riding Club. You've had them basically all over the city.
Bridge Street Brewery,
which was the most fun, I think.
That was the most fun.
That was a lot of fun.
We've had it at Westview Village.
Right.
Yeah.
So you just going to different venues and just trying them out, or what's the plan with that?
Yeah, at the moment it's working because little PE, sometimes people don't want to travel.
Right.
So I found that the feedback is a lot, obviously, and I can't keep everybody happy.
Of course.
But what I have tried to do is accommodate where possible. So in other words, the next one will be out in Krakakama, and then the one after that will sort of be down in the valley again. And so we're floating. Okay. We're floating. But the one that I can say for sure is on the cards every month is Bridge Street Brewery at the moment.
Brewery.
Yeah.
All right. That is great. No, that was a lot of fun. That was a vibe.
Great venue.
So earlier we were talking about misconceptions, right, of thrifting. So a lot of people think, why would I want to buy secondhand clothes? I don't want to buy something that belonged to somebody else. What advice or thought do you have around that? If you were to change somebody's mind about buying pre-loved or secondhand clothes,
I would say, come. You got to just try something once, and if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you just don't. I'm not here to actually try to convince anyone. But what I will add to that is that there's actually a deeper meaning running through this, and it's not about making a deal or getting something for cheap. It is, but it's not ultimately all about that. It's also about the sustainability side. It's also about planet Earth. It's about landfills. It's about tossing items away. It's about even issues psychologically when we have too much stuff. There's actually a real can be quite a bit of an issue also for me when I used to buy for psychological reasons or like an emotional lift. I mean, it's kind of a fine line because you can still get that little woohoo moment when you get secondhand or thrifting.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I started this because I had too much stuff in general. It also was a post-COVID thing, I felt, where we just I certainly became more mindful of not having to have too much stuff.
And what's important, right?
Exactly. What's more important. But with regards to the sustainability and finding out and researching where our items are actually made and where that particular number is coming from, are we using child labor, slave labor, all that sort of thing. There's a real, the river runs deep.
Right.
There's a larger meaning about this. So going back to your question, I'm not here to force anyone to come. All I'm saying is that it is an extraordinary experience. And not only having that wonderful experience, I find it quite enlightening. You actually make friends when you're there. It's actually a vibe.
It is a vibe.
No, it's a vibe, and we love it. It's like a safe party, or it's like a safe place to go and have a great time.
Right.
And take a friend and go and check it out. You can get jewelry, handbags, shoes, everything, anything and everything you can find. You can also find treasures, like real treasures that you would never find in a store.
Right.
From your granny. So it's got this lovely little chain of events that I just love about it.
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I totally agree with you about that there's a deeper meaning behind it than the superficial or surface level, just buying something because you like it. More, you're helping the community, you're helping the world as well. And like you mentioned, the landfills, the child labor that goes behind, commercial brands, those are serious issues, So on a lighter note, talk us through a typical market. What would people expect when they enter, a venue that you or an event that you are hosting from London to Lorraine?
You can almost disappear into Wonderland. That's how I feel. And even dresses that I had and I thought, I'm never going to wear those again. They're just too much, or or that I've never worn, or I might wear one day. They've come out the closet, literally, to be worn at the market.
At the market, right? And you feel like you should dress up.
Yes, you can dress up. You can wear whatever you want. You can talk to people, like-minded people. There's many creative people that are actually at the market.
It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
People should just go there and experience it for themselves.
I can't speak for everyone that has been, but I can wholeheartedly say that once you've been, I'm pretty sure you'd like to go back.
Yeah. All right. And if you could think back in all the years that you've been thrifting or being a vendor and such, right? What's the one piece that you have received, or one piece that you had to sell and you thought, I could never, that the most, let's say, valuable or sentimental?
I am thinking about this because I'm not saying I was a hoarder, but I definitely collected items from my travels, and a lot of my items had stories. I got this there, and this ex-boyfriend got me that. I mean, there's very many stories to each item. So I'm trying to think quickly, because you've caught me ever so slightly off guard about one particular item. And it must be just like there was a fluffy jacket that is coming back to me, and I remember this woman. And I was like, right, I'm going to put it at a certain price. And if it sells, it's meant to go. Right. And the next thing I saw her trying it on at the market, I was mortified. I nearly ran up to her and like, take it off. But no, she bought it. And I was like, she was so happy.
How much did you sell it for?
I don't really remember, but it wasn't, and I think it was around the 500. But it was exceptionally pretty.
Right.
And she looked beautiful in it. So I knew it was going to a great home, I was like, oh. But yeah, I did watch it go out.
But isn't that great when someone is able to appreciate something so unique and you know, sometimes you want it for yourself and you want to keep things for yourself, but you know you need to let them go, right?
It is so amazing to actually let things go in general and in life. You know, the whole philosophy about letting things go. Don't just run through clothing. It's like day-to-day issues, or, you know, got to let that go or let that go. It's not, you know, don't sweat the small stuff. It all boils down to that for me. Like, it's just an item of clothing, although it's beautifully created and it's had a great story behind it. It can be reloved. Like, I've pre-loved it. You know, the word love, it's like, I love you, but I did love that jacket, right? So there's a superficial love as well. But now it's reloved. And look how happy she was to receive it. And I had a little bit of extra money to put towards my bills at the end of the month. So it's also about that.
And it served its purpose.
Oh,
you
totally.
know, you loved it for a period of time, and now it served its purpose.
I'm not prancing around the clubs anymore, so it's hasta la vista, baby.
All right. Georgie, earlier on, we were chatting a little bit about the different markets that you do, right? And that you go to different areas around Gqeberha. Could you let us know about any events coming up? Do you have anything going on in March?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
March is a takeover month.
Oh, really? Yeah. Tell us all about
March
it. We want to hear it.
Yeah, so 23rd of March, we're going to a new venue called Wildflower up in Krakakama.
Okay.
It's very beautiful, kind of like in the woods a little bit and groovy. And the end of the month, we're going national. We're going east. Going to Kenton.
Taking it national.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Going to Kenton on Sea for a couple of days. We're doing back-to-back Saturday and Sunday market.
Wow.
And that's March. Pretty much done. And then we're going into April. Bridge Street.
Yeah. Bridge Street again. Yeah. Absolute. And where can people find you if they want to become a vendor at one of these markets? They have a whole lot of clothes and books and you know, shoes in their house, and they want to get rid of it. How do they contact you, and what do they need to do?
They need to reach out on social media. We have 2 pages on Facebook, and we have a beautiful page on Instagram as well. And actually there are adverts saying vendor search with my email address, or you can just DM me anytime.
All right. So look for From London to Lorraine on Facebook. There are 2 pages, and they can message any of those pages, right? And on Instagram as well. And all your details are there.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Georgie. This was a great chat.
It was lovely. Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed yourself.
I did. It was great. Very happy to be here. Thanks for asking me.
Of course.